Before we begin, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly understood? Not just heard, but deeply understood. When was the last time someone looked at you and said, I know how hard this is? Because for many postgraduate students, loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about being unseen, surrounded by people, yet isolated, connected online, yet disconnected emotionally. In graduate school, your struggles are often invisible. Your exhaustion is hidden behind deadlines. Your fears are masked by productivity, and your doubts are buried under expectations. From the outside, everything looks fine. You're studying, you're researching, you're progressing. But inside, it can feel like you are slowly disappearing. Days blend into nights. Weeks dissolve into months. And before you know it, life becomes a cycle of work, pressure, and quiet survival. No applause, no reassurance. Just deadlines. Many postgraduate students experience this, but very few talk about it. Not because it's rare, but because it's deeply personal. Loneliness in graduate school doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's silent tears at midnight. Sometimes it's unread messages. Sometimes it's exhaustion you just can't explain. And sometimes it looks like success that feels completely empty. If you're on this journey, you may have asked yourself, why does this feel so heavy? Why did no one prepare us for this part? Why does achievement sometimes feel so lonely? This video isn't just a story. It's a mirror, a reflection of the silent battles fought by postgraduate students all over the world. If you've ever felt isolated in your academic journey, if you've ever doubted yourself in silence, if you've ever questioned whether the struggle is worth it, then this is for you. Let's step into the quiet world of PhD life, where ambition meets solitude, and where resilience is built in silence. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content that understands your journey. In the quiet hum of a server, or the gentle scratch of a pen on paper, a unique silence exists. It's the silence of a million thoughts at once, of questions chasing answers in the vast expanse of the unknown. This is the world of a postgraduate student, a world where passion meets pressure and where the brightest minds often walk the loneliest paths. In a city that never sleeps, a young man sits under the glow of a desk lamp. His screen is filled with data, a complex puzzle he has been trying to solve for months. Coffee has become his closest companion. Outside, the world moves on, filled with laughter and life. But his world has shrunk to this small circle of light. He feels the weight of expectation from his supervisors, from his family, but most of all, from himself. The motivation that once burned so brightly now feels like a distant ember, struggling to stay alive against a wind of constant setbacks and critiques. Every failed experiment, every rejected paper feels like a personal failure, a judgment on his worth. He wonders if he's cut out for this, if the dream he chased for so long was just a fantasy. Thousands of miles away, in a quiet town blanketed by snow, a young woman stares out of her window. The library is her sanctuary, but also her prison. She is surrounded by books, by the ghosts of scholars past, yet she has never felt more alone. Her research, once a source of excitement, now feels like a heavy, suffocating burden. The daily routine is a monotonous loop. Wake, research, eat, sleep. Friends and family try to understand, but the gap between their world and hers feels too wide to bridge. She smiles during video calls, putting on a brave face, pretending everything is fine. But once the screen goes dark, the silence returns, louder and more deafening than before. The pressure to produce something original, something brilliant, is crushing. This is the isolation of the academic journey. The researcher often walks through a bustling university campus, but he feels like a ghost, present but unseen. He sees groups of students laughing, sharing stories, and feels a pang of envy for a life he seems to have left behind. His work is too niche, his schedule too demanding to allow for spontaneous social gatherings. Late nights in the lab have become a familiar ritual. The silence of the empty building is broken only by the hum of equipment. In these quiet hours, his mind becomes a battlefield. Doubts creep in, whispering that he is not good enough, that he is an imposter in this world of intellect. He scrolls through social media, a window into lives that seem so much simpler, so much happier. It's a fleeting escape that often leaves him feeling even more isolated than before, comparing his behind-the-scenes struggle to everyone else's highlight reel. The scholar spends her weekends in the archives, digging through old documents. The dust of history settles on her clothes, a tangible layer of her isolation. She misses the simple joys, a spontaneous trip, a shared meal without the shadow of a deadline looming over her. An emotional fatigue has set in. It's a deep, profound weariness that sleep cannot fix. There are days when getting out of bed feels like a monumental task, the motivation to face another day of solitary work completely gone. She questions her choices, her abilities, her purpose. Is this sacrifice worth it? Is she losing herself in the process? The path ahead feels long and uncertain, a solitary journey through a dense, disorienting fog. The passion that brought her here feels buried under layers of anxiety and exhaustion. But even in the darkest nights, a new dawn can break. One evening, the researcher steps away from his desk. He can't stare at the screen any longer. He walks to his balcony and looks at the sprawling city lights below. Each light represents a life, a story, a world of its own. And for the first time in a long time, he allows himself to just breathe. He thinks about why he started this journey. It wasn't for the accolades or the prestige. It was for the love of discovery, for the pure, unadulterated thrill of pushing the boundaries of knowledge. He realizes that this loneliness, this struggle, is not a sign of weakness, but a part of the process. It is the quiet, uncomfortable space where true growth happens. It's the forge where resilience is built. The scholar closes her books and takes a walk in the crisp, cold snow. The sharp air clears her mind, pulling her out of the stale atmosphere of the library. She watches the snowflakes fall, each one unique, each one a tiny, intricate miracle. She reflects on her journey, not just the setbacks, but the small victories she had overlooked in her quest for a major breakthrough. The moment she finally understood a complex theory, the exhilarating discovery of a rare, forgotten document, the quiet satisfaction of a perfectly crafted paragraph. These were her wins, small but significant. She begins to understand that her worth is not defined by her productivity or the number of papers she publishes, but by her persistence, her curiosity, and her courage to keep going. This reflection sparks a change. It's the beginning of resilience. The researcher starts to make small adjustments to his life. He schedules short breaks, a walk in the park, a call to an old friend just to talk about anything other than his research. He takes a risk and opens up about his struggles to a fellow student in his lab, and is surprised to find not judgment, but a shared experience, a common understanding. This connection is a lifeline. He learns to celebrate the small wins, a piece of code that finally works, a new insight from his data, a productive afternoon. The work is still hard, the pressure is still there, but he is no longer fighting it alone. He is learning to be kinder to himself, to embrace the journey with all its imperfections. The scholar, too, finds her way back. She discovers a small community online, a group of researchers from around the world who share her specific passion. They exchange ideas, offer support, and most importantly, remind each other that they are not alone in their struggles. She starts a journal, not for research notes, but as a place to untangle her thoughts and acknowledge her feelings without judgment. By giving her anxieties a name, she robs them of their power. Slowly, she rediscovers the joy in her work, not as a source of pressure, but as a source of purpose. She is not just a student trying to get a degree. She is a scholar, a quiet but vital contributor to the grand tapestry of human knowledge. The journey of a PhD is so much more than an academic pursuit. It is a profound journey of self-discovery. It's about finding strength in solitude and learning resilience in the face of constant failure. The researcher and the scholar, though worlds apart, have walked a similar path. They have faced the crushing weight of loneliness and the corrosive power of doubt, and have emerged from it stronger, more self-aware, and more compassionate, both to others and to themselves. Their work is not just about data and theories. It's about a deep, personal transformation. So, to every postgraduate student listening to this, know this: your journey is valid. Your struggles are real, but so is your strength. In those quiet moments of doubt, when you feel like an imposter, Remember the passion and curiosity that led you here in the first place. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. And please know that even in your loneliest hours, you are part of a silent, global community of thinkers, dreamers, and creators who understand. You are not alone. Your work matters, and you have what it takes to see it through. If you are struggling, please reach out. If you are still here, take a moment. Breathe, because staying until the end means something in this story touched you. Maybe it reminded you of your own late nights, your own doubts, your own silent battles. Or maybe it gave words to feelings you never knew how to explain. The truth is, postgraduate life is one of the most emotionally demanding journeys a person can take. Not because of intelligence, not because of difficulty, but because of loneliness. And yet, in that loneliness, something extraordinary happens. You grow. You learn to stand on your own, to think deeply, to persist when everything feels heavy. You become stronger in ways no one can see. If no one has told you this recently, let me say it clearly. You are doing something incredibly difficult, and you are doing it bravely. Your progress does not need to be fast, it just needs to be forward. Your journey does not need to look perfect, it just needs to be honest. And your struggle does not make you weak. It makes you human. Somewhere in the world, another student is awake right now, staring at a screen, rereading the same paragraph, questioning their ability. Just like you. You are part of a global community of silent fighters. And you are not alone. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to support this channel. Like the video, share it with someone who may need it, and subscribe for more stories about postgraduate life, academic struggle,